In this installation video, we're going to talk about how to set up our ChamSys Magic Viz software with a QuickQ console. In the setup I've got here, I've got a QuickQ 20 console and I've got a Windows laptop. The setup would be pretty similar if you're using a Mac as well, although obviously the network settings would change slightly using the Mac operating systems to set this up. So in terms of the physical setup, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take a regular network cable, a Cat5 cable, and I'm going to connect directly from the laptop into the console. I'm not going through any switches or hubs in this setup here. If you are going to do that, we'd recommend using an unmanaged switch to do this. If you're using a managed switch, you need to go into the configuration of the switch itself, which is a little bit more advanced. So I'm just going straight network cable. You don't need to worry about crossover cable or anything here, just a straight regular Cat5 cable from my laptop into the console, which I'm going to connect up now. Now our QuickQ consoles come with a 10.IP address by default. This is designed to be used as with a lighting network, maybe with things like our genetics nodes, an ArtNet node, ArtNet to DMX converter box on the other end. So we're going to keep the console in this IP scheme. If you're on the console, go to the 3-line main menu, and if you go to settings and then go to the network settings, you'll be able to see the IP address of your console. Out of box, a QuickQ console will come with a 10.IP address. That could be 10 dot and then 3 different numbers afterwards. In my case here, my console is 10.0.0.100. You could set this number to anything you like, but be aware this is going to affect the next part of this video. So with my console on the IP address of 10.0.0.100, the next thing I've got is my subnet mask. Again, out of box by default, we'd be setting our QuickQ console to come with what we call a /8 subnet, which is 255.0.0.0. What this means is in the IP address above, when I'm on a /8 subnet, 255.0.0.0, the first part, the 10 dot bit, is important, as are all the numbers, but the other 3 parts don't need to match on the other system. We'll look at this in a bit more detail as we go and set the IP address on the laptop. But if we remember for now, 10.0.0.100 with a /8 subnet, which is 255.0.0.0, is what I've got set on my console here. And that's it on the console. If we come over onto my laptop here, well, 2 things. First off, to use the visualizer, we need to have Magic Viz installed. Currently, this is part of the Magic Q installation only. So if I go over to the ChamSys website here and go to free software download, we need to first install Magic Q. Now I'm on a Windows PC, so I would take the Windows version. If you're on a Mac, take the Mac version. We would then download that piece of software. Once that's downloaded, we run the executable and install Magic Q. As part of the Magic Q installation, it will give you Magic Viz. I've already done this on my system here. I've clicked the download button. Once that's downloaded, I've run the executable to install Magic Q, and that's all I've done at this point so far. We now have Magic Q installed, so when I go to my start menu, and I look at my applications here, and I look at my apps list, I can search here Magic Viz, and you can see I've got the Magic Viz application. Now at the moment, if I open this, it's not going to find the console, and for very good reason. Because I've just gone straight cable between the console and the laptop, there's no what we call a DHCP server giving out IP addresses over the network. So I need to set a static IP address on the laptop to allow it to communicate with the console. The way I do this is via the control panel window on my laptop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my start menu again here, and I'm going to open up control panel. I'm in the category view control panel, and I'm going to go to the network and internet settings, and I'm going to go to my network and sharing center. You can see this laptop has 2 network connections. It's connected via Wi-Fi to our ChamSys office network here, and it also has an Ethernet connection. Your laptop or PC may have multiple network connections on it. Quick way of identifying it, if I come to the console and unplug the cable at either end, so I could unplug it from the laptop or the console, you can see back in my network sharing center, that connection has disappeared. As soon as I now plug the cable back in, that connection will now pop back up again. It's now identifying, and we can see this is the Ethernet connection here. Again, if you've got multiple, it'll help you identify which connection you're talking to. By default, on a Windows system and a Mac as well, it will be set to what we call DHCP mode, hoping that something else from the network is going to give it its IP address. As I said, we don't have a DHCP server running because I'm just connected point to point between console and laptop. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to click where it says Ethernet here, making sure I'm talking to the right Ethernet adapter. I'm going to go Properties, and I'm going to go and select here the Internet Protocol version 4 option and click Properties on this. This brings up a new dialog box where you can see it's set to obtain IP address automatically. I'm going to change this to use the following IP address, and I'm going to leave my laptop here an IP address. Now, if you remember a moment ago, the IP address of my console was 10.0.0.100. So I need this PC to be in the 10 dot range, but not with the same IP address. I don't want to clash. Do not set it to the same IP address as your console. So here I'm going to set 10.0.0.50. And then I'm going to click in the subnet mask box, and you can see it's auto pre-filled mine as 255.0.0.0. The subnet mask does need to be in the same range as your console. The 255.0.0.0, and I'm on a 10 dot, but a different IP address. I'm 10.0.0.50 on my laptop, 10.0.0.100 on the console. I'm now going to click OK, and that's set the IP address for my adapter. Now, if you are using your laptop to connect maybe to your home network at home later on, after you've been using the visualizer, you will need to come back to this window and go Properties and set it back to obtain IP address automatically again. So do bear that in mind if you use this laptop for other purposes as well. So now I've set all that, I can close all of this down, and I'm ready to open up the Magic Viz software. I've got a shortcut for it on my start bar already. If you haven't got one, made one, click Start. We can type in here Magic Viz and find our Magic Viz application like so. I can click on that and it's going to run Magic Viz. Now, important we set our network settings first. It's now going to automatically find the console, and you can see it's now grabbed and synced to this console here. As I run faders up and down, you can see the visualizer is synced up and is being controlled by my console here. Now, if you find that at the top of the window it doesn't sync straight away, go to File, go to Settings, go to Network, and select your console from the list here. You may also need to select the Ethernet port that you've set that IP address on at the top here. If you find your console isn't appearing in the list here, this could be down to things like the firewall running on your PC or antivirus software. Because we're in a completely offline environment here, I would have turned my Wi-Fi off. You may need to turn off or allow the Magic Viz or Magic Q application through the firewall or antivirus program on your PC to allow the connection. So that's how we get synced up to the visualizer. You'll find in our other feature videos we've covered how to do the visualizer setup itself. But this has now got you connected to the console for programming and setting up the visualizer.